morning, everybody. It is 8:45 now, and Kristin Kreuk is here. She is the star of Beauty and the Beast, which will be premiering on Showcase on October the 11th. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about Beauty and the Beast, but first we have to talk about Smallville. The fans of that show are serious.
Yes, they're serious fans.
Yeah, there are some people that worked here when we were having a show meeting yesterday. Like, they were getting, we almost came to fisticuffs about who was into who, and no, you're wrong, and that was this person's cousin. And I'm like, what is happening right now?
Well, it went for a decade, and it's like a sci-fi series, so that fan community is really intense and committed to their shows and their characters and their relationships, and, you know, like there were fights.
People like that go to conventions and stuff.
Yeah. But lots of people go to conventions. Yeah, dress up. But they're, for Smallville, you can't really dress up necessarily. You could for some of the characters,
Right. But it was just some of our regular old staff, but they were into that show. And I was reading that, is this correct, that you sent off your reel and you were the first person hired for Smallville? Is that right?
Yeah, we had casting directors in Vancouver for the show, and they had them all over the place, and they sent my tape down, and I ended up being cast first in December, probably the year before we shot.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. It was weird. It was crazy.
That's amazing. And you had been doing some local work before that in Vancouver?
I did a Canadian CBC TV show called Edgemont, which was like a high school drama, half-hour high school drama that was
like
really
Degrassi-ish?
Yeah, like and there were a bunch of actors like Grace Park, who's now on Hawaii Five-0, just like wonderful group of actors that are doing really well now.
I know a lot of people are looking at you going, wow, okay, what is she? You're just, you know, you're...
What is she?
Yeah, that's what I get asked that.
Yeah, you get asked that. I know. What are you?
What do they think you are?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think people can't tell sometimes. I kind of fit into lots of
Asian.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of, well,
I'm pretty much half Chinese, half Dutch.
How cool is
but
that?
my mom's side is, like, my grandmother's from Jamaica, so she's a little bit mixed there. My mom was born in Indonesia, but it's mostly Chinese blood, so I'm kind of like jumbled up a little bit.
See, look what happens when the world comes together.
I know.
Yay!
And you haven't had any work done.
No, not that I know of. Unless it happened in my sleep or something.
Like 22.
Not that I know of. There you go.
I think that's fun. It gives you such a great perspective on the world. Because
It
you have your
does.
mom and then your dad and a whole extended
It's
family.
it feels very Canadian.
Yeah.
You know, like I really like
You're
that.
having to constantly explain it, and so you're very familiar with your heritage.
Yeah, and my mom's very, like, I feel very Canadian. Like, I was born in Vancouver. I feel very much like I'm multicultural in that sense, but it's different than in the States where, like, I feel like, as a very broad generalization, the groups are much more defined. Like, here I feel like we mix together a little bit more.
What are you eating for Thanksgiving?
Well, I don't eat meat anymore, so you don't,
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, nice. Like,
I know.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I eat meat this side of the table.
Well, I mean, that's the only thing I really miss is, I was just saying back there, like, turkey, because, but I think it's the associative memory of, like, childhood and, like, having turkey. Yeah.
Gravy and
Yeah.
stuff.
What do you eat? What are you having, like lentil loaf or something
Well,
with a
I
goji
still
berry
eat
on it?
fish, so I might just have some salmon and, like, what?
A big flounder.
A big flounder?
Yeah, big stuffed flounder.
I don't, maybe, but I'll have, like, a veggie stuffing, for sure.
So you're from the West
yum.
Coast. You'll have salmon.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Vancouver. I'm gonna have salmon. Yeah, it'll be
But
good.
are you finding you're needing to spend more and more time in Los Angeles as you move your career forward?
I live part-time in LA and part-time in Vancouver, so I'm still a Canadian resident, but I kind of jump back and forth.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
You need a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Well, you have to
Definitely
stay here
do.
for the health care.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. And you have to stay, you know, you have to have one foot here in Canada to just kind of stay grounded too.
Yeah, it
Gives you
feels,
that.
Canada feels, and Vancouver especially for me just feels like home. The rain and the mountains and everything. Rain.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Beauty and the Beast. We had another one of your co-stars here before, and so this is a retelling of the story.
Yes.
Not necessarily exactly what people would expect.
No, it's a reimagining of the 1980s series with Linda Hamilton and Ron Perlman. So our version's much more modern. You know, our Beast is like this military experiment gone awry. He has to struggle with his emotions and deal with that. He's struggling to find his humanity. So ours is still so now ours is a cop drama. Theirs was more of a legal drama, and yeah.
And you're attracted to him on some level. What is is that the bad boy thing, essentially?
Well,
The Beast, looking for the Beast in the man? Is that
the thing with Catherine is that when her mom's murdered in front of her, she starts to choose people in her life as mates who are bad boys because it's emotional. You can detach. You don't have to ever be hurt again. With him, he is a bad boy in a way, but really there's a stronger connection to him based on their shared trauma. You know, she really feels open with him. So in some ways he's a bad boy, but he's not really her typical choice. She could really be hurt in their, not physically hurt, but emotionally hurt in their relationship, which is a big deal.
Do you think this project found you because of Smallville, and are you comfortable with sort of doing another sci-fi-ish show?
I think they definitely, I mean, it's the CW, and I started on the WB, which became the CW, and one of our showrunner teams also worked on Smallville. So yeah, I think I'm comfortable with it, and it's not super sci-fi. It's very rooted in reality. In some weird way, it could possibly have occurred, you know, in our reality right now. So it's not like there are aliens.
Yeah, and thank God there's no vampires in it.
There are no vampires. You're sick of vampires?
Well, aren't you?
I don't watch any vampire shows.
But that Twilight thing, there's people in Vancouver going on Twilight tours. They take them up into the woods in North Vancouver and say,
look at the woods!
This is a stump that Robert Pattinson walked by.
Like, yes!
People take pictures.
There are some diehard fans, just like the diehard Smallville fans. They just love, they just latch on to a story. They really do.
I know so many guys who just had a big crush on you. What's the strangest thing you've ever, like a fan letter or people showing up on the set?
I've had someone show up at my trailer doorstep before we had good security, who gave me a 10-page letter about how he was going to save me and take care of me.
From Lex Luthor's? Or
yeah, stuff like that,
okay.
you know.
Okay.
But I get that a lot, that kind of thing.
10-page letters.
You know.
You've got a collection of them.
How would you describe your career so far? Would you say, I've been lucky,
I've been lucky.
Yeah. Would you say it?
I've been really, really lucky. I don't know. My first professional audition, I got a show, and it went for 5 seasons, you know, and then I got another show, and it went for 10. I did 8 of them, and it was just, I've been really blessed, and I never expected it of my life, and I feel really grateful that I've had that experience.
Well, we wish you every continued success.
Thank you.
Kristin Kreuk and Beauty and the Beast premieres October the 11th, 9 p.m. on Showcase. Terrific meeting you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too.